You're listening to For Better and Worse with Jess and Rach.
Hello, Rach.
Hey, Jess.
I feel like I haven't seen you. Like, I feel like these weeks feel longer.
I'm not loving what's going on with the place lately.
In what way? And what are you?
Just time and space have been really weird for me.
And we're calling it the January Jitters.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I do feel like I'm on the bridge of a panic attack for no reason.
MNTB is amongst us.
It's a stewing and brewing.
Yeah. I went to yoga last night, took one deep breath, immediate tears.
Oh my God. Not
I'm
one
like,
of those.
oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm like one Shavasana away from just absolutely breaking down in this room right now. I feel you. I don't know what it is. Things feel a little heavy. Am I right?
Yes. And
I don't know. I always blame it on, like, obviously the seasonal depression, but it's off season. I don't know. It's something about like not being in the thick of it. There's no balance for us, but
yeah,
something about that, or not just like constantly feeling productive or something. I'm not sure.
I don't know either, because I feel like I'm still in the thick of it. Not with shooting, but with editing. So, like, I still feel busy. We've got the house stuff going on, trying to spend time over there. But, like...
But isn't editing in the worst way you want to feel busy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like for films, differently than photos, is, like, there really is, like, an art to, like, you got to walk away. And then, like, I truly, like... If I've put in a good 4 hours of editing a film and I feel good, I need to just step away, because the next day I wake up with new eyes, new feelings, new energy. And it's like, I'm more productive than if I were to just like chip away, versus photos where it's like, once you pick the edit, just chip it. You can chip at it, chip at it. Film is different. So
it's a different beast.
It is. It's a very different beast. And I'm still like learning how to be the most. Like, it took me honestly probably 2 years of editing photos for me to get to like a groove with it.
Yeah.
Never forget batch editing.
Never forget. If you know, you know.
Oh my God.
I was editing. If you're not a photographer, you don't really.
Yeah, this is niche. But
I will break it down in Cliff Notes for you. But I was editing in a way where I was going like photo by photo, literally maximizing my editing time by probably
hours.
3 days.
Yeah.
Until one, and I knew about this tool called batch editing, and I knew
it's syncing. It's basically syncing batches of photos. So you use an edit and you sync them, and sometimes like receptions, you can sync hundreds of photos because it's all just the same lighting.
Saving the most time. But
yeah, she had one day at Gather, and I was watching her edit. I said, Jess, I'm having a stroke watching you do this.
And you're like, I can't
watch
be doing
this.
And I was like, I know, it's just my way. And I was like so stuck in it. And every time I edit a wedding or anything, I was like, I can't believe I wasn't doing
literally
this.
every couple of weeks.
Every couple of weeks,
we
like to remind.
Yeah, either I remind her, or Madison reminds her. She comes and be like, hey, remember when Justin batch edit?
It's fucking wild, because I mean, I'm saving days worth of work, and it's a beautiful thing. So
yeah, so I don't have that, but I mean, I'm sure I'll get there. But it is like I take there are some videographers that have a formula, and no shade, you know, there are clients that like the formula, but every single wedding I approach very differently, different music styles. Like every couple is different, and so it like.
But I think that's what you want.
It's what I want. So the time is a lot of time. And I think I'm very used to photo delivery timelines where like 8 weeks is a really long time to wait for photos. And I'm over here at like 16 weeks for videos. And I'm like, Rach. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
We're one person trying to do the work of a few people. So.
Right.
We out here, we over here. And I'm
Can't do it all.
We're trying to get moved into our house someday. But apparently we bought a flip property.
I think you knew that. I'm gonna call.
In my head when I bought the house, I was like, we just need some updates.
But once you get Rick in there, you knew.
Yeah, my mom's best friend is a contractor, and he's adding an addition onto my mom's house. He does work at my grandma's house. They've known each other since high school, so it's like I asked him for certain help, but then it's just like he does absolutely everything. I feel like Josh's masculinity's on the line, because Josh wants to get in there. Josh wants to do like homeowners improvements, and Rick's like,
does he know how? Is he feel confident with that?
Oh, he's on YouTube.
Hey, he's down with the sickness.
Oh my god,
that would be Joe. But that is something we've all
like. He really wants to replace the outlets, and I'm like, let's leave the electrician work up to the professionals.
What do you mean? Slap a cover on it? Because that's all I can do.
No, like, you know, like switches. You know, like how that switch over there is gray. Mm-hmm. We want everything to be white, so you have to literally take the unit out.
Oh, I think that's doable. Unit.
It is, but also, I don't know. I don't think it's necessary.
If someone's here willing to do the work, we leave him to do the work.
Let him do the work.
I agree.
So, you know, we're there, but after this, I get to go paint the ceiling. So that'll be fun.
Well, that calls for Cramp City.
my neck. We did one coat yesterday, and my neck is killing. Killing.
It's not fun.
I got a stick, but you know, we're out here. But what else? What's been going on for you? This.
Yeah, I feel like 2021. I mean 2022.
Oh yeah, we're here now.
It's the year of question mark. We're still figuring that out, right? Yeah. But one of my goals I wanted to is just continue to move my body in a way that feels good, right?
Yes.
So guess what I did, Rachel?
What?
I finally fucking signed up for Naughty Girl Fitness.
Okay.
And so
the dancing.
So this is the dancing. $11 a month. I tried it. Listen, out of fucking nowhere. Usually if I have like a workout plan, I'm like thinking about it. I'm like, okay.
You're building up anxiety around it.
Right. Just like planning a time. I literally was sitting on the couch. Something reminded me of it. I looked it up and I was like, I'm going to fucking do this right now.
Yes.
And I haven't moved. I really have been not really moving my body.
Yeah, stationary.
You know, classic December, if you ask me.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I got out there. And Joe was at the gym, thankfully, because I would never do this in front of people. And I put it on, and I'm telling you, this is the shit, okay? It's like the new Zumba, right? It's Zumba, but like this girl's a choreographer. Her name is Janelle. She was the only white girl in the Nicki Minaj Anaconda music video. So if that says anything about what kind of dancing this was, you know.
Yeah.
So I did level 1. I am completely sore. I've never felt so white in my life. I really thought my toxic trait was thinking that I could actually do this. And like really I could look like her doing it. Like I was like, oh, this will be easy to be fun. That's the whole point, right?
Oh.
I mean, I'm stiff as a fucking board out there. I felt like my mom out there trying to learn something. I was like, fuck, man, I am 30.
We've been sending each other her videos for a long time.
And I'm like, we should do it for the pod. We should like do what did we say? Go live and fucking try to do this because it's comical. But I won't be showing anyone this for a very long time until I feel equipped. Maybe I'll do one like how I started, how this started, and how it's going.
Do Zumba. I was a Zoom baby.
I'm telling you,
I was zoomed out, and
this isn't what you think it is.
No, I know I'm not good. There was no point in my Zumba classes where I'm hitting that. I'm like, yeah.
Well, there's
like the rhythm in my fingers does not match the rhythm in my feet, and I've got rhythm musically, bodily. It's gone. And I know that about me.
And despite your lack of rhythm, you persisted.
Yes.
And that's great.
Move your body to feel good. Do movement that feels good. I think a lot of the time it's like you want to feel prepared. I think a lot of people, that's why they're afraid of the gym, because of all the machines, and like that's just the first hurdle. But it's like you just got to move yourself to feel good, whether that's a 15-minute walk every day or, you know,
but I'm saying
Naughty Girl Fitness.
If I didn't have rhythm, that's not a workout that I would choose. It's literally fitness at 8 counts. And like, given my background, I really thought that I could really handle this. But
you can handle it.
I will be getting better. I'm going to stay on it. $11 a month. We'll tag her.
I really want to do it now.
Put it in the link.
We have plenty of space here. We could do a group.
We should.
A little get together.
I would love to just put it up on a projector.
Oh my word. It'd be great. I'm proud of you. I'm excited for you.
Yeah, it's a fun journey that I'm on. We'll see. Hopefully my moves improve. That's what I'm hoping for in 2022.
Well, good.
The year of popping that pussy.
Well, speaking of,
let's go. Okay, how did we just do that?
Well, we're just off our birth control these days.
Have we used the toy?
Jess, I can't talk about, like, Mom, if you're listening, stop listening.
Hey, this is cue for Sherry. This is cue for anyone who doesn't want to hear about this toy. Hey, I've looked it up.
Jess.
Unreal.
I'm going to show you. All right, do you want to see a graphic image?
Yes.
Okay.
100% yes. Are you? Is it a video?
It's not a video. No,
Oh.
God, Jess.
I thought you were saying it's Josh.
No, okay. So there's something that I believed my entire life to be a hoax, a porn special effect, a mystery.
Did you?
Yeah.
No way.
And it shocked me to my core. Josh wasn't there. I was getting to know my toy on my own. Which,
did you tell him this? How bummed was he?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I texted him immediately. Nothing. It killed the vibe. I was like, well, what just happened?
One of the lucky few. Or
it's
a thing that people... You're kidding. Oh my God.
And here's... Okay, to get graphic about it. It's not like orgasm squirt. And it's not like I didn't feel like that.
What is it?
It's something from deep within. Something from deep within your crevices. And it's not pee. I thought it was pee. And I've told a lot of people that they're idiots and that it's pee.
Does it feel like peeing?
No.
Pee?
No. It surprised me. It was a sneak attack. Because it was like after I had already come. And it was just, it was like cooling down. It was a cool down.
Sneaky.
And then I was like, whoa. And I was like, whoa.
Oh my gosh.
And just...
Congratulations.
Thank you. I feel like I'm a part of some elusive nightclub.
You have to be.
But clit-sucking vibrators, everyone. You gotta... Jess, I'll get you one.
Are they expensive?
I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, worth it. I mean, if a journey you want to take is squirting in 2022.
Is 2022 the year of squirting?
Yeah.
It is for you.
2022 year squirt? Okay.
Squirt. Oh my God. Congrats. Put it here, pal.
So,
I'm proud of you. I'm happy for you.
Yeah.
I mean, it felt great.
It felt like maybe if it happens during sex, it will feel differently. But because I wasn't expecting it.
You had no idea what was going on.
I was like, oh. But the wettest substance known to mankind. Well, let's say that. Wetter than water. They need to be doing some.
Oh my god.
They need to be doing some science on that.
I need to know.
I had to do.
What happens?
Laundry.
What is it? What needs to be done? There has to be some type of scientific equation here.
I don't know enough about it, and they haven't been doing enough research on it.
Okay.
But I also don't like the idea of like women in a lab
just squirting everywhere for men.
For science.
Yeah,
no. But
that is wild, right?
Also about that.
Shocked me. I was not expecting that.
This is a sex podcast now. Just a subsect. I'm
here for that.
We're a sex podcast now. So Josh and I were on the subject of nipple play.
Okay.
What's your stance on nipple play?
Funny you bring this up. Also, Kelly, now is your time to go.
Kelly, see ya later.
Or anyone who knows me. No, Joe was like, you don't like your nipples played with. And I was like, that's not true at all. And he's like, when I do it, I feel like nothing happens. I'm like, what do you expect to happen?
Yeah.
I'm like, they get
lactate.
No, exactly. But I'm nooch. I would say I'm nooch on it.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of touching, kissing in general is what I like. So like, if it happens to be on my nipple, great.
Yeah.
But Kelly, and I mean Leaf, that's Joe enjoys it.
Nipple play.
Yeah.
I just got to ask if you've ever been with a guy. No, Josh doesn't.
Oh.
But I've been with someone who like aggressively nipple play. And it's like, okay.
You don't like it?
No, I'm very pro.
Okay.
Yeah, but on that, Josh had asked, like, have you ever thought of nipple tassels? I said, absolutely not.
A fantasy he wants to see live, and I appreciate the communication.
I'm like, the idea hurts me. Chip clips on my nips?
Is that what I just thought?
They're like chip clips.
I thought they were like stickies.
They can't. No.
Circles.
I guess
I'm thinking circles.
Well, when we were talking about nipple tassels, we were talking about the clips, nipple clips.
Clamps. Okay.
Chip clips on my nips.
Ouch. I wonder what kind of sensation. Is 2022 the year of exploration? I feel like we're bringing out toys. We're bringing out equipment.
Yeah.
And I love that.
I know. I think Jess and I are getting more comfortable talking about sex on the pod. So
yeah, bring them up.
Bring them up. Tell us your squirting stories.
Yeah, I would love to hear them. I want to know what percentage of our followers can do this beautiful, beautiful gift.
Well, I think it's also the reason why the clit sucking vibrator, it's a lot. Like, it's very, very, very intense. And
Maybe
it's almost to
that's
the point where it's like, I don't, like, it sucks on and it holds on to your orgasm. And you have to, it's like a plunger. You got to rip it away from yourself. And so I think that's why it stimulates that, because it's like, it's forcing your body, like it's contracting and something's happening.
And something what's happening.
Something what's happening. So we'll see.
What was the projection on that?
Well, I was just laying down. So like, I don't know, just went into my mattress basically.
Were you like, whoa?
I mean, I went jaw drop. Immediately texted Josh and was like, you will not believe what just happened.
Oh my gosh.
I just was like, yeah. I know you're watching football right now, but we got to talk about my vagina.
Right now.
And so, it happened.
Awesome.
So that's...
I'm just in shock.
Yeah.
Add it to the list.
Put it in the Amazon cart, Josh.
Well, the thing about my Amazon cart is that it is shared with my entire family.
Yeah.
So that includes my mother-in-law. That includes my brother-in-law.
Yeah.
That includes Joe, which wouldn't be a problem, but and whoever wants to use it, it's pretty a free-for-all. So
yeah.
Let's discreetly order that.
Get on Belisa.
It's Belisa.
Their shop.
Did we talk about that on the pod?
We haven't talked about that on the pod. I feel like it's more of a sex ep, but that is our naughty girl site. And if you aren't a porn watcher or listener, please don't go there. If that's not a journey for you, don't go there. But that's our.
But if it is, it's a
they have like
porn
stories,
made by women.
Porn, like a store, vibrators and stuff.
Right.
So
you could probably order your vibrator from there.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Get on there.
Oh, right.
Order from the place that we like. All right, that's a sex talk. Alternatively to that, we're looking inside and inward, not sexually. Jess, Josh and I talk about this a lot. Do you have an inner voice? Like, do you have a narrator in your head talking to you? Or like
we all do. Uh-oh.
So
nobody's home over there?
So
hey, maybe that's...
But this is what I mean, okay? I feel like
that's why
when God was creating me, he was like, we're going to make someone who's half autistic, half ADHD, we're going to make that soup. And then I was born. Because I do not talk to myself. What happens in my head is in my head, I just imagine scenarios.
I would argue
constantly. Like, I just imagine. So, like, I don't talk to myself about myself. My narrator is not my voice. I'm just constantly thinking about things that are going to happen, did happen. And it's just like a movie screen in there. Like, I don't have... Like, there's obviously times where it's like, do I want that? Do I not want that? But in that, I'm also... It's not necessarily like I'm talking to myself like that. It's like I'm imagining myself eating chips or I'm imagining myself eating an apple. And what do I want there? What's the outcome I want there? I'm not like talking. I'm not talking. Like Josh has like negative self-talk. So he himself is talking to himself. And it can be negatively or like he is talking to himself in there. Is that a shared experience everybody has?
I guess it depends. I feel like you have a little bit of both. Like nobody is actual saying words, right? It's just your prefrontal cortex is where your decision making happens, right here. Mm-hmm. And whether that's a voice, a movie, an image, or you picturing that's the voice.
Yeah, but I would say some people do see words and talk in words to themselves.
Yes, but
I don't. And I talked to my therapist about this. I was like, should we be concerned about this? Do you need to write this down in your file? Because I don't have an inner voice. I don't. And if it is, it's not me. It would be like a third party. Mm-hmm. Like,
this is a really deep thought that I'm trying to like think
but
about.
I want you to be aware of it because I think about it. We'll be doing something, be like, what's in your brain right now? And Josh is like,
yeah, we do. You know, we say like, what are you thinking about?
Yeah.
Or what's on your mind? We'll say that, but it's like,
but like the thing I most commonly think about is like conversations with people and like getting into imaginary fights with people. Like I'll just pick a person and be like, what would we fight about? And then like I'll spend hours. I'll spend hours.
That's problematic.
But why do we think I'm so good at arguing? Because I've been practicing up there.
Who likes to argue?
Chess. I'm playing chess up here 24/7.
That's toxicity soup.
It's not arguments necessarily, more discussions. It's like if I had to talk about race with my grandma, what would I say?
Why?
Don't know. I've been like this forever. This is just how I live.
That's interesting. I do not.
What do you think about?
Right. I don't know. Let me think about that like on a random day. What am I thinking
year of
about?
Awareness.
I can tell you what I'm thinking about a lot is my future.
Yeah.
A lot. Like I'm really thinking, I feel like this year is a lot. I feel a lot of change coming. And I am really trying to play this all out in my head. And I feel like this is what's on a constant loop for me. If I'm thinking about, what am I thinking about 90% of the time? It's that. It's what is my life looking like in the next 10 years? I'm at that stage.
Yeah, I know. I'm not like that too. But sometimes I'm like, I say to Josh, I'm like, when I get bored, it's because I've thought about all the fights I want to think about in my head and all the conversations I want to be had. And then I'm just stuck here with silence. What else am I going to do?
Oh my God. Go on TikTok.
I know, but that's hard because it's, I got my timers on now.
Oh, you do? Good for you. Yeah.
There is a button to press called Remind Me in 15 minutes. That gets pressed
quite a few
times.
You've been tacking on the minutes
because it's so much easier than watching TV to me. I'm back on New Girl. We're in a comfort show.
Never go wrong though. I think there's a lot of good TV out now though right now. A lot of good movies that just dropped. It's about to be Emmy season. Joe is a big movie buff, which means he knows every actor.
Him and Josh could watch movies together.
Every actor and actress that has been nominated or won.
Yeah, him and Josh.
Oscars. Did I say Emmy season? It's Oscar season. I'm sorry.
Whatever. You could say anything. And
Emmys are TV. Oscars are.
Okay. But really, Josh and Joe are best friends waiting to happen.
They're grabbing a brewski tomorrow.
Yeah. We're setting them up on a date. Really. Because it's like, you guys are so alike. You guys are very much going to be best friends. They are good friends now, but it's like, I don't know if they knew to take the first step to like ask to hang. I know. And I think it's awkward trying to make friends as an adult.
As an adult and as a male.
Guy. Yeah. I have a lot of theories on male friendships, but we don't need to go there today. We can get into our meet because I feel like we could talk for a while on our meet, right?
We probably could talk for a minute.
A fair few minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll be getting into the meet this week. About the top things to know before you move in with someone.
Yeah, this has been requested a few times.
Yeah.
But I feel like this is good. I feel like we've also a good time for you. You're going to be moving into your own space.
My own space.
With Josh, which will come up with an array of difficulty, but also...
And if you don't think I've been prepping for this day...
It's going to be great, though.
It is going to be great.
To not be in mom's house anymore.
I
mean, we knew there was a huge shift after... Britt had moved out when we were living with her for a while.
Yeah. And so it'll be good.
Beat the meat.
We'll see. We'll talk about it in detail.
Rach, you squirted.
All right, Jess, I want you to start this one off, okay? Just because I feel like mine are like...
Generic?
No, heavier. Like just more serial. Do you have... I guess this is kind of a serious...
Yeah, but I mean, I can get into some fun things about moving in together. So here it is. You guys asked for tips. I can kind of explain. Joe moved in with me. Joe was the first guy I lived with. And my sister was already living there with us, so he moved into my house with my sister and I, and it was pretty seamless. It was a good transition for us. I don't know if Joe would say the same thing because now I've been living with him for 4 years or something around there. But I would say that like I'm seeing stuff now, seeing what I needed to see that was not happening when we first moved in. So he was probably on edge, living with 2 girls, you know.
Yeah.
And so also
well,
like
3 girls, because wasn't your
Rachel. Oh yeah,
you
I had another roommate at the time.
Yeah.
So he's living in with a house full of girls, and he's just probably on edge all the time.
Yep.
But that's another thing to note too. When you're moving in, like, are you guys creating a new space together? Is one moving in to somebody's already established place?
Right.
Which can bring up some difficulties, I feel like.
I definitely feel that way.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like if someone's coming into your space.
Yeah, learning the ropes, learning the expectations. Expectations is what I put down, just a word. I feel like it's important just to communicate first and foremost, right? Let's get that out of the way. Communicate why you guys want to move in. Why do you think this is a good move? What are your scaries? What are your scaries about moving? What's your biggest fear about, you know, you're going to see this other side of me? You know, talk about that, because that will bring up the things that the person is going to see. And like, rather you get them out in the open rather than finding out for yourself and being like, I didn't know this about you. And that,
right.
That's hard. So it's like, bring up maybe why, you know, you fear this. But I'm going to put the big one out there. Is talk about share the finances. I know it's a shitty thing, because you may not feel like we're there in the relationship. Like we're not getting married. We're not sharing finances, but you guys are taking the next step. Yeah. I would say in this day and age, if you're moving in, I hope your
finances are reliant upon each other.
Right. I hope that partner is the one, because you're taking that next step, or you're hoping for that. Right. Yeah. And it could be an awkward conversation, but keep it light, keep it tight. Be like, hey, I think it's important before this gets awkward. Like, how do you want to split up the finances for the house? Like, let's just figure this out now.
Yeah. Well, what I said, my number one thing was, don't move in with someone unless you are comfortable talking about and being transparent about finances. I feel like it's a huge like maturity thing. Yeah. But yeah, it's like if you're expecting someone else to pay half the bills, you kind of need to know, are you in debt? Do you have any other monthly payments? Like, can you afford this? Yeah. And like, unless you're comfortable having that conversation, being transparent about your own finances, like, you probably aren't ready to move forward into that step with someone else, because you are sharing a space with someone else and living together. And yeah, it's definitely important. And surprisingly, like, I know a lot of people that got married and like weren't aware of their partner's financial situation.
We touch on this a lot on the podcast, and I feel like because it's important, because I feel like that if you can talk about a really hard thing like money, you can talk about other hard things. It's a good sign. It's a good way to get to know how they want to spend money too. Like,
money is so, I hate, like, money's one of those things, like, you hate talking about it, but it is so personal because it is the outcome of like how you work. Yep. Right. Like, when I get the most down about myself is when like I feel like I'm struggling financially, but I work so hard. And so like I take it like offensively. Like, like if I'm like, you know, I talked about that with my hair. Yeah. Yeah. I talked about that with my hair. Like it's been like my, but however I feel like I'm doing financially is like how well I'll treat myself. Or whatever.
I mean, think about this. Like, when you're older, I know this is like way out there, but like when you're older and you're like figuring out your will. I just watched the last season. I mean, the finale of Insecure, and this made things like stand out. And he was like Molly, the character, her dad was going over her will, and he like had spent all his money on his wife's medical bills or whatever, and he had like nothing to give his kids. And he was like, this is just so personal. Like, I have worked this many years, and you know, I had a lot to show for it, and now I don't. And I have nothing to pass on to my kids. And they're like, that's not what's important. But it's hard to like lay it all out there for your whole family to see, be like, sorry, I have nothing to give you, but you know, these things that you know could maybe be money. But it's very personal, and it's a shitty thing to talk about, but get it out in the open, be honest.
Yeah. Like, and maybe this, like, so personally, like, so Josh and I obviously just buying a house, like, we haven't been paying rent for like 2 years. But our plan, like, is we're going to have a joint bank account. So it's not like he's being added onto mine or I'm being added onto his, and that's going to be the household account. So we each transfer money into that every month to cover the mortgage and bills and, food. And we spend money from that for the house. Because, we aren't married yet. And I think even when we do get married, like, I still value some financial independence when it comes to, like, if I want to get my nails done, or if I want to buy clothes, if I want to go shopping, I don't think, as long as our household finances are being taken care of first, like, I don't want him to have a say in how I spend my money. Like, my grandma, I think it's the saddest thing in the world. My grandma worked. My grandma, worked, and my grandpa worked, but they lived in a time where my grandpa was still in charge of my grandma's money. So, like, when my grandpa passed away, sad as that was, she immediately got a fence in her front yard. She always wanted a white picket fence in front of her house. She bought a new, one of the stories she tells is, she had to basically cry to get a new vacuum. And
what?
Yeah. She wanted a new vacuum. He said, this one works perfectly fine, but there are newer models coming out, and she just really wanted a better vacuum.
Yeah.
And my grandpa, granted, he saved them so much money because he was a real penny pincher, and but
that would create so much tension in my marriage.
Oh yeah. She was Mrs. Richard Cummings. That's her credit cards still say Mrs. Richard Cummings. Like, that was just the time they lived in.
Right. I would say different times.
Time. Like, she had no expectation that her life was going to be different. And, like, even as she's telling these stories, like, I, as a modern day feminist, am, like, outraged. But she doesn't have the outrage. She just kind of laughs about it. And I'm like,
well, now, because her reality is like, now I have my own money. I can always do what I want, now. Yeah.
But
I'd be resentful.
So I think in finance, like, people will have a different view of finances, depending on where they grew up, how they grew up, and I think Josh and I, like, as we're buying the house, like, it's bringing up a lot of that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
And so,
because you guys are pretty much shelling out money for the house left and right.
Oh my God. I spent $1,000 in one day for our kitchen.
Yeah.
Stuff. It's like, it's wild.
But you look at it as an investment, right? Like, this is not stuff I have to pay for, no. It's for the house forever.
Right. And in reality, we're going to move in and the house isn't going to be perfect. Like, I'm not going to have every single piece of decor I want.
They say that it takes time to fill it up. It took me 5, 6 years to get my house to the way I wanted it. Yeah. So you just have to kind of, over time.
Yeah. I had to put the brakes on for a while.
Pump those brakes, right?
The Facebook Marketplace brakes.
Yeah. But also, good for you for getting a deal.
Oh, yeah. I'm always wheeling and dealing on FB&W.
Always a bargain hunter, you are.
I am. First and foremost.
That's good.
But yeah. So that was my first one, the finances thing too.
Yeah. I just had a point that I kind of was just, reflecting on it. And I said, you realize how different the households that you grew up in when you move in together, and just their family history. And like, none of them are wrong, or I'm not saying like you judge the other person for it, but it's like just understanding that terms mean different things to different people. So, hey, would you mind cleaning the kitchen? And someone's definition of clean is different than the others. But really getting specific on what you want, right? So it's just going back to expectations, and you expecting something when you say, hey, would you mind cleaning the kitchen while I'm gone? You expect it to look like how you would clean, and you come home and it's just like picked up, right? Like, it's not your definition of, so then you come home and you're slightly disappointed, right?
Yeah. It hasn't been disinfected. It hasn't been.
Right. Yeah. So that can cause, and then you're like,
yeah.
I'm sorry I fall, you don't want to feel mad at them because you don't want to judge people for doing their chore the way they see fit, right?
Right.
So I feel like that's a difficult thing.
Yeah,
so
you're personally working through that kind of stuff.
Right.
And I think it comes like, sometimes you have to redefine. So if clean means different things, deep clean, get specific. Can you do a deep clean of the kitchen?
But also,
be
even more specific. So be like, hey, would you mind cleaning the kitchen? And by cleaning, I mean like wiping the stovetop, cleaning and mopping the floor.
Yeah.
Or like just tell them the things that you think that they are good at. We might just like doing the dishes. I feel like the more specific you are about tasks, the likelihood that you won't be disappointed.
Right. And like this stuff is like uncharted territory for me because I was in a marriage where like roles were flipped. So like I think this is typical in hetero relationships that the woman does everything and the man, like is the one that falls short or whatever. But I was the one that did not measure up. And so everything had to be done a certain way. And so like I never got to figure out like how do I want things, because that was not how I wanted things, was not a fucking option. And so with me and Josh, like we're both kind of messy people, but we both have agreed like we don't want a messy home. It's really hard when I lived at my mom's. Every single time I've lived at my mom's house, even in my past marriage, and it's something psychological happens, and I cannot. It's awful. And I feel like it's very deep, like rooted in disrespect, something, because it's like, it's so disrespectful the way I keep my mom's house. And I know that. I just don't know how to stop it because I was a child there. And like,
just patterns of behavior for sure.
So Josh and I are going to try to do like, not necessarily chore charts, but like 20 minutes every single day. Both of us can put in 20 minutes every single day of a household task. Whether that's, doing the dishes, deep cleaning the sink, deep cleaning, and so we've talked a little bit about like what we want to do together.
Yeah.
And developing a system together. And I think we're on the same page of like, we're both kind of messy, but we're also trying to set up our home in a way that we can be the most organized we can be. My sister's going to help with that. She's like an organizational guru.
Yeah.
So she's going to help us create systems, because if you don't have a system in place, you can't.
It's very true. I feel like being on the same page with household responsibilities is important. And with that, I feel like that's another good talk to have. Like, hey, these are the chores that I don't mind doing or I feel like I'm good at. And those could be like your chores. Like, for example, Joe's is taking out the trash. He can do laundry, but he doesn't like folding it. And 9 times out of 10, he's just going to leave it in the basket, which is just going to piss me off. So that's not a thing. He can help with laundry, but it's pretty much my responsibility to fold. But at the end of the day, we do say this. It's like, everything's our chore. Everything, not one person can't do the other. Like I cannot, sometimes I take out the trash for him if he's had a busy day. Like that's just not solely his job. It's my responsibility to do it as well, because we're a team. It's not like these are your chores, these are mine. Like we can have chores that we'd like to do more than the other, or things that. But I just feel like, and this is my cleaning craziness, but it's a way to show that you care, right? If I take out the trash for Joe, that's basically his responsibility most of the time. It's like, oh, thank you for doing that. Like that showed I was thinking about you and I wanted to take one less thing off your plate today. Mm-hmm. And I feel the same way when it's...
Remember the maggots?
The maggots? Those were... horrendous. And they'll come back. They come back every year.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's all I can think about when you're taking out your trash at your house.
Yeah, because I have to do it with gloves.
Yeah.
Because I'm always scared of the maggots will come get me.
Oh my God.
Yeah, absolutely horrid.
On that, so I kind of wanted to talk about in hetero relationships, and I think different ones, but specifically a lot of the resources on this are hetero relationships. But the concept of weaponized incompetence. Have you heard of this?
Yes.
So it's a lot of the times men in relationships will use I don't know how to do it. I don't do it the way you want it done. I don't know how. When these are grown adult men who they might be engineers or nurses or, plumbers who do technically hard jobs, but somehow can't do the dishes, somehow can't pack their kids' school lunches, somehow can't do these things. And it's known as weaponized incompetence. And for women, you're unknowingly taking on the role of mother and having to take care of all the household responsibilities. And this is the real kicker, is telling someone how to do something step by step is not taking something off of your plate. It's you then playing household manager, waiting for the person to do it wrong. And that's not actually helpful, which is why a lot of women do things themselves. They don't ask for help because they know that things I think in your case, Jess, you know that you've got a bit of a psychological problem with the cleaning. You're aware that your expectations for it. So this is different. You know, like you're aware that you have work to do in setting your expectations.
No, I don't. So I can get upset.
Yeah.
That if things aren't done, but that I know that I cannot get upset for Joe because he did what I asked him to.
Right.
Did he do it
your way?
The
right.
unrealistic expectation was not met, and that is my problem to work with myself.
Yeah.
I understand. I didn't think this was
okay.
Me, but
I didn't want to come off that way.
No.
But it's something I talk about with Josh a lot because I think one of my toxic traits is I love to be needed, and I can easily fall into the comfort role, and I think he would easily take the being taken care of role. And so it's something that, like, for honestly probably like a year since I got on this side of TikTok, the Weaponized Incompetence stuff, that we're getting on the same page about. Like, I think kids are a huge one. I think having kids, women take that role naturally. And a good example of like weaponized incompetence, or it's like the equal responsibility for your house was it was a hypothetical scenario that someone put in was you put your husband in charge of the stockings for the kids. Which means you have nothing to say about it. He's doing it. He's taking care of it. You don't need to ask questions because he's taken on that role. It's the day before Christmas. He said, shit, I forgot.
Go out.
He is still responsible for fixing the problem. He is responsible for, Santa showing up that day and having a different treat, or, the stock. Like, he is responsible for finding the solution to the problem that he created. And I thought that was a very important thing because I think women are expected to pick up the pieces, and it's not fair. It's not a fair role to play. But I think a lot of this comes back to like the incestuous nature, I think, of the boy mom narrative. I talk about this even with Madison, who has a child, a boy, that it's like a lot of the times I feel like moms are raising the type of man that they wish their husband was. So then they put their sons into this role of like, I don't know, you're taking care of them, you're catering to them, and then they get married and they're expected to be treated the way their moms treated them. The laundry's folded and done, and all their expectations are to work. But newsflash, we live in a society where one income doesn't support a household anymore.
Right.
So women are not only working full time, raising children full time, they're also responsible for the houses. And we got to put the kibosh on that, and we got to battle it head on, and have those conversations and being aware of how your partner might be weaponizing their own incompetence.
Right. Just, I mean, off the bat, it's unacceptable, right? Like off the bat, if that's something that you're realizing and you feel like you're taking on more than you can handle, and you're doing double the work, triple the work, you're like, okay, that's unacceptable. You're an adult, figure it out. Right. Like the stockings, whatever it is, like, oh shit, I forgot that, kind of looking at you, and you're like, it's you still got 24 hours. It's still your responsibility. I'll watch the kids, but like, you said you were going to handle that. So I, if you said something, I expect you to follow through with it. Right.
Yeah.
But you can't criticize how they choose to accomplish it.
Right.
If it is last minute, even though that pisses you off, if it's done, it's done. Because I feel like that is something I can get upset for too. It's like, classic, and that's the other thing. Like, Joe will do stuff last minute, and that does irritate me. So I just end up doing it anyways, and I'll do it before. And that is problematic. So then he feels like you didn't trust me to do this. I told you I could have, but I'm like, I didn't like the way you did it, or I wouldn't like the way you would have done it. That is wrong. Yeah. That is not cool. But I feel like that's something you can
know about that. And I think it's really important that you have like acknowledged that.
Oh, yeah.
Your role in that is wrong. And like,
oh yeah.
I mean, I was Joe, I was held to these in unrealistic standards to me. Because what's hard when you live with someone who's whatever neurosis is what it is. I'm not in your brain. Like, to me,
Right.
wiping something down with a sanitary thing, cleaning up is clean. That's clean.
Right.
To someone, it's not.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting the toothbrush out. It's getting the bleach out. And it's like the different definitions of these everyday tasks. If they need to be broken down, they need to be broken down. But one of the best, I have a hard time acknowledging when I got good advice from my cult church. But Dave and I had marriage counseling, and we were talking about this, and specifically it was around doing the dishes. Okay, so the pastor of my church, he cannot rest unless the dishes are done at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't sleep well. He needs them done. His wife is like, I sleep fine. I take care of the house. I take care of the kids, but at the end of the day, after I've been working with these kids for 12 hours, I'm going to want to grab a glass of wine and sit down, and like I can get to the dishes in the morning when I'm doing the dishes for breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
But it caused a lot of problems with their relationship for quite a while until, my pastor was like, it's on me then. If it's going to be a fight, and if it's something that like logically doesn't need done, I don't need to put that pressure on my wife if I need it done to sleep.
Right. I feel like we've had this conversation.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was on the pod or off the pod, but
yeah, I don't think it was on the pod.
Yes.
But
If
my ex so vehemently disagreed with it that I was over here like, I'm stuck. But they were like quite literally like, this isn't like you can't just say that this is not true. Like, they're like, we've been married for 8 years. Like, this is our lived experience. And
Right.
we're telling you that, like, in order to have a healthy marriage, you can't expect your partner to reach your unrealistic expectations for something.
Mm-hmm.
If you want something done,
Do it.
But that's but
also with that, like, I can see how that goes. Like no, I guess that makes sense. But I
Yeah.
hope like the other partner doesn't feel like, oh, he's like angrily doing that, or
no,
just
you have
out
to,
of
but
spite.
you have to reach your own kind of conclusions with that, because it's hard.
Yeah, it is. Because I feel like there's times where like I will do the same. Like I want
Yeah.
something done, and Joe's like, oh, I was gonna get to it, or we could just do that tomorrow or something.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll feel better when it's done.
But this specifically was one
Yeah.
task. And
Mhm.
I think it's easy to kind of confuse one with the other of like,
Yeah.
just do it yourself if you want it done. But
Right.
it's a partnership. And I think you have
Right.
to approach your relationship like a partnership.
Absolutely.
And not a one-sided partnership, not someone, maybe your partner makes more of the income. That doesn't mean that
No.
every single household responsibility and your children fall on you.
I agree.
Like, you need to bear the same emotional weight of your house, of your parenting, of the work you do.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's talk about different schedules and splitting your time to be independent. Let's talk about independence in the home.
Okay. Alone time.
Alone time. And we did talk. I feel like we talked about this, or Joe and I talked
You
about
and
it
Joe
on our
talked about it.
episode.
Mm-hmm.
Be important.
Yeah.
Important to some people, and maybe not so much to other people, as Joe
Mm-hmm.
and I have described. But you learn that. You'll learn that when you move in with that person, like
Mm-hmm.
their routines, how they like to spend their downtime. And you just gotta roll with that. I feel like just about a year ago, Joe and I mean, we would go to bed together every night. Didn't matter what time. I'm go to bed early kind of gal.
Mm-hmm.
And he would just go up there, either read or he'd watch TV in our room, which he despises. And after a while, we just were like, I'm going to bed early. I'm going to TikTok by myself for about an hour, and then I'm going to go to bed, or I'll read. And Joe stays downstairs and watches TV until he's ready to go to bed. He stays up late. He watches movies, like stupid ass movies that I would never watch. So that's what we started doing. That's an okay thing. That's been great for us, honestly,
Good.
because it's like I can get some alone time upstairs
Mm-hmm.
by myself, doing whatever the fuck I want, and he gets to watch dumbass movies.
Right.
But like that stuff is okay. Like you don't take it as like, oh, we're not going to bed together, not, whatever.
Right.
I feel like that's important, and learning how your partner does downtime, respecting, honoring, could be gaming.
Yeah.
And
It is.
But learning that, and like, as long as you guys are prioritizing each other,
well, I think it's defining, how does quality time look now that we live together?
Right.
What does quality time look like? What are your expectations? Like, I don't have hobbies. Like, right now it's like I'm trying to figure out what to do between the hours of like 6, 7, and 10 p.m. when I'm not working. Because it's like, I don't want to just be mindlessly scrolling. Sometimes I find reading kind of taxing. And I don't just want to watch TV. And so like my natural thing is like hang out with Josh, but Josh wants to game. And so it's like, what do I do with my time? Like, please advise, what do people do between the hours of like 6 and 10 p.m.? And weirdly though, for me, falling asleep separately is very triggering for me.
Really?
It was, for me, my biggest, like, when I stopped staying up with Dave was when I decided, like, I'm done.
Oh.
Like, I'm living life on my own now.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna go. Gonna go to bed and just not have to live in this reality anymore.
Interesting.
So it is kind of triggering for me.
Sure.
I mean, but I went to bed without Josh last night.
Right.
He was gaming and I was tired, and it happens. But I think it's having those open conversations and like,
yeah, it's about, that's obviously a different scenario, but
like, we did have quality time together yesterday. You know, we painted our, the ceilings at our house. We had dinner together. We ate dinner. We watched an episode of New Girl. So like, we spent hours together, but it is this weird thing of like, what are your expectations for our relationship?
Right. Because,
now that it's changing.
Yeah. Because so you're living together. So you're spending all this time. You're spending more time together.
Yeah.
You spend all this time together and you're like, well, that constitutes us hanging out. That constitutes us quality time. But not really. You know, if you guys are just going through the motions and, doing stuff at home, but like, are you guys eating dinner together? Are you guys sitting down, picking out a movie together? Are you guys dating each other? Like, are you guys going out and doing
Are you going to dive bars?
Are you going to dive bars? Right. That stuff's important because there could be weeks that go by with you just living with this person,
Right.
It's about them being less of a roommate and more of a partner.
Right.
And, finding how you can navigate that.
And I think like, this is kind of to do with marriage more than just moving in together. But a question that I've heard asked is, are you having a problem with your roommate, or are you having a problem with your partner?
Right.
With your, with your spouse.
So think about what, like,
and those are different things.
Existential problem is, right? Like, what is the root of making you upset?
Yeah.
Is it something that is
it a roommate problem?
In the house, or is that like carrying into like, your real life into your relationship?
Yeah. Here's just a side note. Is there a household task that you just won't do? Because I have one that it's like, no matter what, I won't do it. And
do you know who I am? Do you know who I am? Hell no. I will fucking do anything because I'm a psycho.
Oh my God. I will not clean out the fridge. Don't ask me to clean out the fridge. I won't do it. I won't smell the milk. I won't look for the moldy stuff.
It is undesired. It is not fun.
My whole family knows I won't do it too. Like my mom, I said, like, it's a well-known fact. I will not clean out the fridge. I won't be in the house when you clean out the fridge.
Is it something about bad food that makes you...
Mold really disgusts me.
Well,
and it's just like, I don't want to search for a smell. Don't ask me to search for it.
It's sickeningly satisfying though, because once you clean out the fridge, you're on your knees. You're on your knees in the fridge, and I have a. Also, I ain't afraid.
Don't ask me to bend over.
I ain't afraid to throw out the Gladware with it. Don't be afraid of that.
Oh yeah, no.
That shit's cheap, okay, and it's stupid. So get glass and do good by the fucking ecosystem.
Yeah,
but sometimes we just use. Also, we just have a shit ton of fucking Gladware, Tupperware, whatever you want to call it. 1 million lids, probably 5 containers. We got to really go through it. That's a task I fucking hate, though. The amount of
did you grow up in a household that like you saved every deli meat container?
My dad did, yeah.
Yeah,
you'd open that like country crock butter, and you're like, I don't know if this is butter or if it's leftovers.
And I can't live like that.
No,
I can't live like that. I'm glass containers only. Glass containers only.
Yeah.
So it's like, I will not clean out the fridge. I want to know what other people's things are. I just can't. I can't be a part of it.
There's like undesired tasks.
Nope. I will not. Josh knows this. If I clean out the fridge, it's because he's dead, and I'm a widower.
Oh my gosh. You will never.
Even then, I'll hire someone else to do it.
Just stay on top of it so that it doesn't seem like a daunting
We
task.
are going to do the ADHD fridge. because we both have ADHD. So have you seen this?
No.
So the theory with an ADHD fridge is like a lot of the problems with ADHD is like object permanence. So you have to see something for it to exist. And so like the drawers where you keep your vegetables, a lot of times they go bad because it's like you have to open a drawer to see if they're there. So keep your sauces down there. Keep your ketchup, keep your mayo, keep the things that you're going to search for in there. But then you keep your veggies and your fruits and your fresh foods like in the door.
Interesting.
So we're definitely going to do that because we both struggle with that.
Yeah.
And I'm also like, I don't know how long that's been in there.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. So yeah, you got to put dates on stuff because it's like, don't ask me to remember when we got that food.
I think it's on the package.
No, I meant more like like leftovers and stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, that.
I'm like, I think it's on the lettuce.
I know, but yeah. But sometimes there's the sell by date and also best after 7 days, like all of that.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. I
just
don't
put
do math.
Put a little sticker.
I know.
Hello, my name is. Eat by this time.
Eat by this time.
Enjoy by this date.
I know. And I think for me, it's like, I can't have too much food in there.
Yeah.
Well, I'll keep you guys updated because the fridge is stressing me out already.
I'm sorry to hear that, but I'd be happy to come over and help.
Jess, you can panic clean my house anytime.
I have to when I get home.
Panic clean?
Feeling a little cluttered after the holidays.
I can't deal
Joel
with
hate
you.
me. I have to wait till he leaves to clean. That's how bad it's getting. Anyways, I will say that there is a tip of the dick that I have for moving in together.
TOTD.
Tip of the dick. And it is sleep with 2 comforters, people. Yes.
Did I tell you about this?
No, but it is changing your life. I hope.
We've been doing this for years since we moved in because I run hot and I need a lighter and he doesn't.
Enough people. We do not have to cuddle at night. First and foremost.
We do cuddle, but we can do it with
2 blankets.
2 blankets.
I mean, if you know me, you know that I sleep crazily. And my blankets, I don't care how they're on me. It's got to be on me. And they're not like the tag on the bottom left. And that's how Joe sleeps with his blankets. And I'm like tag in my mouth, chewing as I sleep. It's just messy.
I can't believe you and I both had this tip and not shared it before. I've thought about this many times. I'm like, I have to tell the audience.
Tell the people the tip. And I swear it will change your life. It's just good. Come for your sleep, you guys.
When we're at a hotel and we have to share the same blanket, it's like, oh my God.
But also, I will say this. It does ruin the aesthetic a bit.
It does. Ugh. But it works for us because my blanket is technically more like a quilt. Like it's so you can fold it up.
And making the bed is not enjoyable like that.
Ask me if I've ever made my bed. Well, you're going to try.
I think having your own space and something that you're proud of and then you're not reminded by childhood trauma, you guys will, want to take better care. We
hope. Josh and I, our mindset is we hope. Yeah. We hope we'll be better. We certainly do.
Yeah, it's fine. At the end of the day, it's your fucking house. Also, if you guys are the same, like, clean up when guests come over. It'd be fine.
Well, we've already decided that the closet is going to be upstairs. Don't go up there. That's our space. That's where we're going to keep all of our clothes.
Okay.
And all of that. So, to hope, because what happens is there's the dirty but not really dirty pile.
Yeah, the chair.
Yep.
Better known as the chair.
And then there's also just like dirty. And then there's also some clean stuff that you put on and then you threw off because you don't want to wear that. It's like there's a lot in the mix.
It's the chair.
But the clean that's not dirty, that's just on the floor, that'll all be upstairs now. You're only coming downstairs in your finished outfit.
Okay.
Only coming downstairs in your finished outfit. And then the downstairs in our room, we'll have our dirty clothes. And you put it on.
Also, if anyone has a tip of the dick for how to eliminate the chair. Really, are we really putting away our clothes after we try them on every single time? If it's a no.
Laura will have an answer for us.
Well, we'd love to hear that, Laura. Come back with a tip. Losing it.
We're losing the mojo?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, here, my last one is be ready to challenge your own shortcomings. So, like, I know that keeping a house clean is really hard for me. And I'm, like, already trying to, like, battle that and, like, acknowledge that, like, I don't keep a perfect house.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is, like, especially hard if your partner's moving into your space that already exists.
Right.
Like, you might have to challenge, like, maybe I don't do this the way it needs to be done, or maybe they should be taking over this task, or all of these things. And I think it's about your partnership and Your partnership is coming together. And like for me, like I don't have a lot of things that I think need done in any kind of specific way, at least yet. I really haven't been an adult on my own before.
Yeah.
Literally, I had to like live under the regime of a dictator.
Yeah.
And then I lived under my mom's house, who just loves me too much and lets me get away with anything. Hashtag spoiled.
I think it'll be interesting to see how this unfolds for you. Because I feel it's yours. Like your hard work, your money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like really going into a space for you and Josh, which you hold in a high regard.
Yeah. And I've never really had that before.
Right.
Like, it's my house. Like, I'm not renting.
It's not going to change drastically, but I think like you'll hold more honor in your space. So you'll want things done differently. And if not, like I said, whatever.
Who knows? We just
2022, the year of squirting. I was hoping that would tie in together, but it absolutely did not.
Oh, God.
Someone said purpose.
Yeah.
I like that.
That was my mantra for last year.
Oh, yeah.
Purpose. That was my mantra. I haven't come up with a new one.
Yeah. Me either.
I know.
I was trying to in yoga yesterday. That's why it was like a candle lit with my favorite instructor, yin class, real restorative. And I was like, you know what? I'm really going to intentionalize here. Really come up with the word, really come up with some stuff, and just a lot of crying in the back corner, which was good. I felt like that was needed after a wild holiday season.
Hey, let loose.
Let loose and
create some juice.
Let loose and create some juice.
Lose it and juice it, baby.
That is
it. Do you have anything else, Jess? Anything to add?
I think that we covered most of it.
Yeah, I hope that wasn't confusing. I feel like there was a confusing part in the middle.
If you followed along, bravo. But all in all, like, have fun with it. It's a fun time, you know, and like the first few months are going to be great, you know, and you're learning more about that person in a really intimate way. Intimate. Yeah. So enjoy it. You know, if things come up, communicate it. That's all. That's all you can say. Like, don't let it fester. Don't just talk about it. Like you guys both have expectations of how you live, and you can't really assume that two people are gonna poop. That two people are gonna come together and everything's just gonna be fucking
you will
perfect.
be pooping in the same place.
Speaking of poop,
what?
Joe must have held in his poop for a year. Because that man destroys a toilet.
Whoa.
And it is his duty to clean it up. But I'm like, I didn't scrub a single toilet when you lived here for a year. I'm like, were you pooping at work? Were you just pooping at the gym and other places? And he said 100%. There's no way he pooped in my house for a year.
Oh my God.
Just by the way it
can also wreck a toilet. They're gonna have a lot to talk about.
They can wreck a toilet.
Wreck-It Ralphers.
Wreck-It Ralph.
Well, guys, we hope this was, good for you.
Yeah. If you followed along.
Hopefully it wasn't too confusing. There's a lot of weird, like, fine lines between taking too much responsibility, asking too much of someone else, equal partnership versus doing things that if you have it and it's an unreasonable request, you got to take your responsibility for it. It's like,
but I think what it comes down to is just talking.
Yeah.
Talking, communicating effectively with your partner.
And when all fails, counseling. Sometimes you just need a profesh to get in there.
The therapy police.
Get a professional in there to hear and, for you guys to communicate in ways.
Also, because some things, keep going, but some things might just come up living with someone else that didn't come up before. So it's like navigating that together.
I know. Navigating life together.
Doing life with one another.
So best of luck to you guys.
Hey, good luck. And
good luck
if you have any questions, we've all been through it.
Yeah. We might be throwing out an advice episode soon. So keep them in. I feel like we haven't done one of those in a while.
What do you mean?
Like our DMs.
Oh.
We used to get stuff to our DMs a lot.
Yeah, ask us. We'll give you some semi-solace.
Yeah. Some little like
tidbits. Tip
Dear
of the
Rach
dicks. We'll tip of the dick all the way through them.
Yeah. Tip of the dicky. All right. We got it.
And that's it. Thank you so much. We love you. Thank you for listening. We out.